In this video, we're going to move on to a new category of operators, the Boolean operators, and they are represented by these words and, or, and not. So these are different operators in how they look. They are represented using a set of characters and not symbols. So before, with the arithmetic and comparison operators, we use like the plus sign or minus sign, the multiplication sign, the greater than sign, the two equal signs for the operators. In this, for these operators, we will be using these words and, or, and not, but they still function the same way. They still have the same definition of an operator. They all produce some new value, and or are binary operators, which means they take in two arguments. Not is a unary operator and only takes in a single argument. So one thing about these words is that you'll see that they turn green in your notebook. They are reserved keywords. We will talk about these later in Python. There's a few set of characters or really keywords that you cannot use as variables, and we'll see that as we move on. Just for now, know that they are keywords and they are important, and the Jupyter Notebook will let you know by making them green and bold. So we're first going to cover the binary AND operator. So the way the binary AND operator works is that there is one value to the left and another value to the right. Now, to use it, we need to be familiar with true and false values in Python. So true is a value, just like a number is a value like 5, but this is a specific type of value and it's considered a Boolean. So a Boolean value, there are two Boolean values in Python, true and false. So that's what the word Boolean means, either a value of true or a value of false. So these are also reserved keywords. As you can see, they turn green and bold. So true is one of them and false is the other. So we're going to use these two values with our AND operator to produce a new Boolean value. So the result of the AND operator will always be either true or false. So depending on what's to the left and what's to the right. So this truth table over here will help us out. So the way the AND operator works, now that we've seen these values, I'll go back up here, is that you put one Boolean value to the right and another Boolean value one Boolean value to the left and another Boolean value to the right. So here we have true and true. So and will evaluate as true if the whole expression evaluates as true if both of these are true. So true and true evaluates as true. And I'll give more specific examples that don't just use true itself a little bit later, but just so that you can see this truth table over here. If you do true and false, all of this will evaluate as false. So the only way that the AND operator can evaluate as true is if both the left value and the right value are both true. So any other combination, and these are all of the combinations that are possible. So if we do false and false, that'll be evaluated as false. False and true will also evaluate as false. Okay, so let's see a little bit more complex example that don't just use these keywords true and false. So let's say we want to determine if 10 is greater than 8 and let's say 5 is greater than 9. Okay, this time we don't have true and false values. We have expressions over here that contain other operators. And so and, or, and not all have lower precedence than the comparison operators. So the way Python evaluates this expression is that it does this first. 10 is greater than 8, then it flips over here and does 5 is greater than 9, and then it does the AND evaluation. So let's go ahead and enter this, and this is false. And to see what Python has done is that it has done 10 is greater than 8 first, so that evaluates as true. 5 is greater than 9, well, that is false. And so this expression becomes this, and then Python finally evaluates this and says this is false. So this little truth table can show you all the different combinations of how this AND operator evaluates the arguments that it takes. So P and Q just represent the arguments on the left and the right. So both of them have to be true in order for the result to be true. And one final note about true and false values is that the first letter needs to be capitalized to write it correctly in Python. All right, we'll see more complex examples with this AND operator later, but that should give you a good introduction to it.